All right, people. It's your boy Chid from Gooner Eagle Eye. Here with my Bournemouth review of the game of Arsenal versus Bournemouth. And I told you I'd make it special this time. Decided to bring on two fellow Gooners to do this review of mine. So welcome Colin and Topps for their Gooner Eagle Eye debut. Say hi to the people, fellas.
Nah, it's all good, boys.
Yeah, so good, man, so good.
So first things first, how did you find the game? Dare I ask Colin that question, blimey?
That was shit, boys, wasn't
it? It weren't great. It definitely weren't great.
No.
Topps, what about you? How did you find the game?
Yeah, again, the same as PSG, really. I mean, there was a little bit of a spell maybe in the second half where we looked like we were going to like open them up a bit, but no, just there's no, especially in that first half, we got the goal or whatever, and then after that, it was a clumsy way to. I know people might not think it's a penalty or whatever, but it was just like a lack of concentration, and then after that, it was just Bournemouth who had the majority of possession, and we didn't look like we were going to score. I think we didn't have another shot on target in that half. I think Alexis hit the bar towards the end, but we just didn't look like scoring. I don't know whether it's the formation or the motivation. We're not creating chances. We're not testing the keepers. That we're literally scoring our goals, and that's the shots we're having on target. That is literally it. So it is kind of a worry. But I suppose we've got the 3 points, which is something we've not done in the last 3 games. So that's probably the positive I can take from it.
The last game we won, lads, was Ludogorets away.
Jeez, that was the start of the month.
Yeah. Are you glad to see the back of November? That's the question.
Oh my god!
You know what, lads? I don't put it down to November. I really don't, because I've never been one for superstition talk like that.
Yeah.
Because I genuinely don't believe in it.
Nah.
So what was your reaction?
It's Arsene Wenger's tactics to me.
Yeah.
I really think that's the main reason. And the fact that we haven't got any continuity in that midfield, maybe that's got something to do with it as well. The fact that we're chopping and changing the midfield every 2 minutes.
Yeah, true.
I'm going to come back to that. I'm glad you brought that. I'm going to come back to that. But first things first, what was your reaction to that starting lineup? Because my gosh, I saw the front six and I was like, okay. And then I saw Debussy's name. I was like, huh? What?
Yeah, I was pretty shocked as well. I thought he was never literally going to play a game for this club again. So to see that he was starting, I was like, what is going on? But to be fair to him, he didn't have a bad 15 minutes, considering that's what his first game, a year or something ridiculous. So I didn't think he played it too bad. Obviously, he got injured like 15 minutes in or whatever. But yeah, the rest of the team, I thought, Oxlade-Chamberlain on the left, I'm not sure that's he's more comfortable at that position. Maybe he's more comfortable on the right. But I was shocked that he dropped Coquelin as well for El Neni and Xhaka. It just doesn't seem we've got a settled team. Like, it's just too many chops and changes. I mean, probably the next Premier League game is going to be a different midfield too. Probably Coquelin and Ramsey again. It's just, I don't know, maybe Wenger needs to find out what his best team is and then stick with it so we can actually gain some form and some momentum. Just like we were early in the season when it was like Iwobi, Walcott, Sanchez. I was the front three for quite a few games in a row and stuff. So we were playing well consistently. But when you chop and change it, it seems like the players, they don't have a sense of rhythm and style with the players they're playing with, because they don't know if they're going to play with them like the next week or the next match. So I was pretty shocked by the starting lineup, to be fair.
Yeah, he has suddenly become the Tinker Man.
Yeah. He doesn't normally. He just sticks with it, but he has changed it quite a lot. I don't know why, but.
Colin, what do you reckon about Debussy's inclusion? I know you were pretty vocal before about the fact you didn't want to see him play for the club again. So
that opinion's still not changed. I still don't trust the guy. I'm not. Contrary to what people think, though, I'm not actually going to blame Debussy for today, because, that's his first game in how long?
Yeah.
Match fitness won't be up to scratch, so Wenger's just thrown him in there.
Yeah.
And to me, that screams out bad man management. Like, I don't know what's going on with Jenkinson. Maybe he's picked up an injury or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But look, if Jenkinson has picked up an injury, why don't you play Oxlade-Chamberlain at right wing back instead?
Or even Maitland-Niles. Well, what happened to him?
Oh,
I've
yeah.
got no idea, mate. I just don't understand why Wenger feels the need to chop and change the side every 2 minutes. Because you can't gain continuity that way. And honestly, I still feel that Wenger doesn't know what his best 11 is.
Yeah.
I mean, I have my assumptions of what our best 11 is. Xhaka and Coquelin are in that, with Cazorla being out.
Yeah.
I guess so. You mentioned earlier about the fact that you don't understand why Wenger's changing the team. Could an argument have been made that because we haven't been creating a lot of chances lately, that maybe we needed to change the team in order for us to be able to progress?
Well, we might have not been playing well, but that's down to chopping and changing the side every 2 minutes. I mean, because the facts are, we were poor today. The only reason why we won that game is Alexis.
Yeah.
He was on a different level today. Different level. The guy is world class. One of the few world class players that we have.
Yeah.
And it's a joy to watch him. It really is. But there are certain players within that side that I just don't understand why they get game time. I really don't. Debussy being one of them. And look, bottom line, if Bournemouth had like better finishing today, they would have gotten a point. Our defence looks all over the place at the minute. Mustafi, not good today. Monreal, even though he got the assist for the second goal, not good today. Debussy did, well, I would say he was average for 15 minutes. I wouldn't really say he was good. He was average. Gabriel didn't stand out that much to me.
Oh, okay.
Koscielny again, not. I don't know what's going on with Koscielny. I really don't. He's had 3 bad games in a row. I mean, oh my life. Seriously, like, why do we switch off whenever we fucking feel like it? Because to me, when I watch Arsenal at the minute, it seems like they're just playing whenever they want. You know, Wenger just sends them out there and thinking, oh, you know what? Go out there, do what you want.
Yeah,
I'm not good. I'm not good tactically, so just go out and do what you want. I mean, and when I see Wenger sitting on his arse, it genuinely annoys me because I'm thinking, stand up. Get into your players' heads. Drive them on. But no. Doesn't want to do it. Can't understand it for the life of me.
So usually what I tend to like to do in these reviews is I tend to go through all the players and then give them a mark out of 10. So you guys, let's do it all together because I'll be curious to see how my mark differs from what you guys. I think my mark is really going to differ from what Colin thinks. So let's go. First things first. Let's go with Czech. What would you give him out of 10? How do you feel he performed?
I didn't think he made a mistake really. I think he kept us in the game with that save from Benica Afobe and there's a couple of other saves. A couple of other saves that he made as well. So I'd give him probably a 7, just for that save because literally got us the 2 points, extra points, because it would have been a draw otherwise. So yeah, I'll give him 7.
Colin?
Czech had a solid game for me. I mean, with Petr Cech, you know exactly what you're getting. He's a world-class goalkeeper. 7.5 for me. Those saves toward the end, especially the one in the last few seconds of the game, that really stands out for me.
Yeah, same. I thought he made some really good saves. That Afobe one really does stand out for me because it was at a key moment of the game where you just know we would have done some shit like either draw the game or lose the game as a result if we'd let that in. So I think Czech is, you bought what you bought. You bought a World Cup. Debussy for the 15-minute cameo. Surprise cameo. Would you give him out of 10?
Can't really give him more than 5, really. 15 minutes, he was okay. Yeah, didn't really. I mean, he was going forward quite a lot more than I thought he would do. It didn't really have anything to do because obviously the game was just kicked off. So I'd give him a standard 5.
I'd give Debussy a 5 as well. It was only on for 50 minutes. You can't really judge him based off of that. But he didn't do anything wrong, but he didn't do anything outstanding either. So, like I said, 5.
Yeah, me too. I would give him 5. I mean, as much as I criticise Debussy on this channel quite a bit for his just attitude, he did okay. Not really much else you can say. So I guess with that, let's talk about his standing. This is where I think we differ. So Gabriel, what do you reckon about Gabriel?
Probably 5.5. I think when he came on, he looked a bit shaky. You could tell that he hadn't warmed up, and it wasn't like up to speed with the pace of the game because that's where Bournemouth was targeting our right hand side and obviously their left wing. They're winning quite a few corners from either Gabriel giving it away or getting beat. But I think he grew into the game and it was definitely a bit more solid towards the second half and didn't really make too many mistakes in the second half. So I'll probably give him 5.5, maybe 6. Was the rating.
For me, I'm gonna have to. Well, I'm not gonna give him higher than a 5.5 because I don't think he didn't really stand out for me. Because he was making some good challenges in that, but he was being played as a right back. He was being played at a position, and Gabriel, I'm sorry, but he's suspect to mistakes as well. I just don't think that Gabriel at right back is the way going forward. I would have much rather us just put Oxlade-Chamberlain at right back and, stick Iwobi on the left-hand side,
Yeah.
Me personally, I'm a little bit more optimistic on Gabriel than you guys. I mean, when he initially came on, there was an argument that why not just stick Mustafi there? He plays there for Germany. Just have Gabriel in his normal centre-back position. But I can understand Wenger feeling like maybe he shouldn't break up that Mustafi-Koscielny partnership. I actually thought after about 10 minutes where he did have a shaky introduction, I thought he grew into the game. I thought he was a lot better. Defensively, made a couple of decent tackles. And I'd give him a 6.5 out of 10. I thought he did okay. Mustafi, the person I criticise a lot on this channel. What would you say? How do you think he did?
Probably again 5.5. I think there's some of the pace of Bournemouth forwards like King and Wilson. Yeah, he was catching Mustafi out and Koscielny had to cover and stuff. He's getting drawn out of position. That's what happens a lot to him recently, anyway. He's like he follows the ball, but obviously he loses position.
That's my point. Thank you. Someone else has said. Yes.
Yeah, he does that a lot. And that was leaving gaps in the back forward. Obviously, Koscielny had to come over and cover. So yeah, I think that's probably Mustafi's weakness. Anyone with a bit of pace and has got like a quick turn. His mobility is not as good as probably it should be. So Yeah, probably a 5. I mean, there was during a period of the game after Bournemouth had scored, we did really look like they were going to score another one. It was a couple of last-ditch tackles that really saved us, really. So, yeah, I'd say 5.5 for Mustafi.
Yeah, Colin?
4.5.
Oh, blimey. I thought I was harsh.
Nah, that's not being harsh. Because there was a point in the game where I think it was either before Bournemouth scored or after. I can't remember which. But when he looked to go and shove I think it was Callum Wilson. I can't remember who it was. But he looked to shove him down in the box because he had two hands against the Bournemouth player. And for me, that's treading water.
Yeah.
He's lucky that the ref did not see that.
Mm.
Because if the ref sees that, stonewall penalty.
And he already been booked as well, so it would have been off.
Exactly. So, and if you do that in the box, if you look to push someone down inside the box, it's a yellow card.
Mm.
And he was already on a yellow at that point. So if he gets another one, he's off.
Yeah.
And to me, that's disappointing because I know how good Mustafi is because I watched him in Serie A when he was at Sampdoria. And he was one of their best players.
Yeah.
And to see him perform like he did today, it hurts me because I love the guy. But you know what? I don't care if I'm a big fan of you or not. Fact of the matter is, if you have a poor game, I'm going to call you out on it. Simple.
Yeah, I also I'm a big critic of Mustafi. I think everyone is in love with the fact that he's just finally a defender with pace. I'm not 100% sold on him. I must admit. I find that people keep telling me he's a good reader of the game. I'm yet to see this because I think, like you said, Topps, I think he often ball watches. He plays football the way a lot of people who are like 14 at school play football. He just goes where the ball is.
You know what he is, Chris, right? Chris, you know what he is? He's the German version of what John Stones is supposed to be. that ball playing centre half. And he does that role quite well because I've seen him do it. But right now, I have not seen this from Mustafi that I am used to seeing.
Yes.
I mean, when we were linked with him and when we signed him, I was buzzing.
Yeah.
Because I know how good the guy is. But let's be real here. The last few games, he's been diabolical.
Yes. Thank you. That's what I keep saying. I mean, it's always important, and this is what I try and tell myself, that, he's 24, 25, he'll improve. I guess I'm just not in love with him yet, the way I see other people gushing over him, because essentially he has more pace than Mertesacker, and I'm not quite there yet. For me, I'd give him a 5 out of 10. And I'd only give him a 5 out of 10 just because there was one good interception he did make that I do remember. But aside from that, I don't really remember what else he did, to be honest. So, yeah, I'd give him a...
One thing I would like to mention, Chris, the people in love with Mustafi, prior to us signing him, hadn't even seen him play.
That's what I'm saying.
That's always the case, man. Always the case.
I'll tell you now, I'll be honest. I wanted Koulibaly, and then when Mustafi came up, I was like, all right, sure. It's not every day Wenger spends over 30 million on a defender. Might as well.
Yeah. You're not the only one that wanted Koulibaly, mate. I wanted him as well.
Yeah. Koscielny, how do you think our captain did?
I'll probably give him a 6. Again, sometimes it was, caught out of position, or he was having to cover for Mustafi. I think he did make a couple of good headers from corners to save us as well.
Yeah,
that's probably why I'd bump him up to a 6. He was pretty good in the air and stopped a few balls going to Bournemouth strikers and stuff. So I probably, for that sense, I'd probably give him a 6. But I mean, he's still, for me, not in the best of form, considering the game he had against, what was it, Leicester, where he literally was man of the match. He had a great game then. He's not got to that height, that level that, he should be. Conceding penalties against Tottenham. He wasn't great against Man U. Wasn't great against PSG.
It was good against Chelsea. It was good against Chelsea.
Yeah, as well, yeah. During that period, it was where the team was playing good, he was playing good as well. So, but yeah, it's kind of dropped off in the last couple of draws. We've kind of conceded more goals as well. So, but yeah, probably a 6 for Koscielny for me.
Yeah, Colin.
5.
Uh-oh. Go on. Why 5?
I'm sorry, but our defence has been shaky, and it was shaky today. And Koscielny was part of that. I mean, both our centre-backs were just as bad as each other. I mean, I see them making simple defensive mistakes. And that pisses me off because, look, you're trained as a 5-year-old. When you've got the ball in your own half, as a centre-half, you play it simple. Play it to your full-back, or try and play it long to the midfield and they can lay it off to the strikers, yeah? Koscielny doesn't do any of that. Or he didn't do any of that today. No, playing it simple. And Mustafi is the exact same thing. And I'm telling you now, this is going to happen. I don't want it to happen, but I fear that a thrashing, I really do. And it wouldn't shock me if that came against Man City.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It really wouldn't, especially if Aguero plays.
Yeah.
Because, again, like I said before, the only reason we won today is because of Alexis and the fact that Bournemouth couldn't finish their chances. Against Man City, that will not happen. Because they have Aguero. And if Mustafi and Koscielny have a shite game, which they've been having for the last couple of weeks, Aguero will take the piss out of them.
I agree with what you both said with Koscielny. I think he hasn't quite, I don't know what's up. I mean, along with the whole team, but I find when Koscielny plays well, more than often than not, we win games.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. And the thing about Koscielny is, people always say, he's the best defender in the league. I always stop short of that. Because with Koscielny, as much as I love him, he always has one horrible mistake in a game.
Yeah.
In every single game.
Yeah, at least one.
One horrible mistake. That more often than not leads to a goal. Or leads to a dangerous chance or something.
Penalty, free kick, etc.
I thought he did okay. I thought he did better than Mustafi. I thought in the air he was pretty good because for some reason Mustafi is useless in the air. But
he can't read it properly. I don't know why.
No, he can't. That's what I'm saying. He's not a good reader. I don't care what anyone tells me.
The flight of a ball, I think
But Koscielny covered him a couple of times and made some key headers. So for that reason, I'll give him a 6. I thought he did okay. Monreal. This will be interesting. What do you guys reckon? Pops?
I mean,
I don't know what has happened to Monreal, but
I don't know. He just fell off. It's ever since he got burned that time in PSG away. Ever since then, it's just dropped off. For me, he's getting a 4. Like before that,
got that well wrong.
Oh my god!
What would you give him?
Yeah, I give him a 4. I mean, he did create the chance, the goal for Theo, but he gave away a penalty, and that literally shifted the momentum of the game. Because I thought if we didn't have that lapse in concentration, we could have beat these 2-3-0 like comfortably if we get the second goal or whatever. But I think obviously with them scoring the equaliser, it kind of swung the momentum into their favour, and they looked like scoring more than we did. So I think that kind of dictated the game, and it was just it might look like a soft penalty, but it's just a challenge that he didn't need to. He looked clumsy, like he didn't need to be involved with Wilson. You could just let him run offside or whatever. But and Monreal's done that a few times. You seen last week against Man United. another clumsy challenge where, you know, it could be a penalty, it might not be. And he's made a few of them. So, yeah, his form's just dropped off for me. Maybe, you know, someone like Kieran Gibbs could maybe take his place for a couple of games because he's just not been the same as he was last season. Because definitely last season he was one of our better defenders, definitely. But yeah. You get 4 for me, in my opinion.
Colin, what about you? -1?
I'm going to give him a 3.9.
Okay. Awkward as ever. Go on.
That's just because of the assist.
Okay.
If he had done nothing in the game, I would have given him a 2 probably.
Yeah, same.
Because the thing is, Monreal's been poor for a while now, and it wasn't. And Topps tried to say that it was since PSG. No, it was long before that.
No, the away game. The away game. The 1-1.
No.
Before that.
No, not the 1-1. That wasn't it.
Was it?
That was not it. No. In fact, he actually had decent games, you know, after that. So
yeah,
the rot has started since probably Middlesbrough when he got torn to shreds by Adama Traore.
Oh yeah, that's another game. He got ripped, man.
Yeah.
Jesus, yeah, it was awful that game.
Yeah, he's been poor since. He's been poor ever since that game. And
jeez,
look, there's no sugarcoating it because look, I love Monreal to bits. I think his work rate is outstanding, but you can't say that he never puts a foot wrong now. And I used to say that about him all the time because there was times last season where you could say that about him.
Yeah.
But you can't say that now because ever since Middlesbrough, he's been torn a new one. Right? Adama Traore ripped him to shreds.
Yeah.
Aurier ripped him to shreds. Barrow from Swansea ripped him to shreds.
He was awful that game as well.
That was probably the first one, really, actually. The Barrow one.
I'm literally remembering the guy, you know.
He just got exposed.
Exactly. And besides that,
game as well.
That Swansea game with Monreal and Barrow mirrored the Chambers performance against Montero 2 years ago.
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
True. And you know, it's never been the same after that. It was never the same after that.
Jeez.
No, never the same after that. And besides that, for me, left back is a problem.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like, okay, if you take Monreal out, you put Gibbs in. But Gibbs has games where he's good going forward, but is absolutely suspect defensively.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's true.
For me, we've got to get a left back in January. We've got to. And the one player I would go after, right, not try to start a transfer rumour here, but Rodriguez of Wolfsburg.
Yeah.
I genuinely would, because
he's attacking though. Very, very attacking.
Yeah, he is attacking. But one thing he can do, which both of our left backs cannot do, is cross the ball.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, that's true.
I agree with that. He's a very good cross of the ball. I don't think Monreal. I actually think that's one of Monreal's strengths.
Yeah, he's actually decent at crossing. To be fair to him, better Bellerin anyway.
I will say that
recently, he's had one good cross, and that was today.
True.
I
think much like you guys, I don't know what has happened to Monreal. I used to call him Mr. Consistent. You know, more often than not, he would have a 7 out of 10. And if he had less than that, it's because the whole team plays shit.
Yeah.
Today, I just found him clumsy. People were debating whether it was a penalty. I immediately said it's a penalty. We're just clumsy. We're clumsy at defending. And once again, because all of a sudden, every time we play football, that we always have a clumsy moment in defense. And it happened again. Just before that, he got skinned again as well. I'm really starting to worry about Monreal. Plus, I read a story like a couple of weeks ago that he's missing Spain and he's missing La Liga, and it's showing in his performances. And I feel like if he wants to go that badly, I think Colin's right. Maybe we need to start looking at left backs. So I actually think he's already looking at that Wolfsburg guy. I actually think he will be Monreal's long-term successor. Whether he comes in at January is the real question. But getting back to the game, I think I'd give him a 4 out of 10 as well. And that's, like you say, it's just for the assist. El Nene, how do you think he did?
I'll give El Nene a 6. I thought in the first half, along with the team, no one was really pressing. No one really had the right intensity to try and win the ball back when Bournemouth had quite a lot of the possession. But I think in the second half, he was definitely working harder, definitely winning the ball back higher up the pitch. And it was him that was winning the ball back for our counter-attacks from corners and stuff. Obviously, we didn't really make the most of it. But I think he was trying more harder to win the ball back and close people down. And I think he definitely had a better second half than the first one. So I'd give him a 6.
Yeah. Colin?
El Nene did all right for me. You know, he didn't do that bad. In fact, he was okay. Put it that way. Rating, I'd probably go with a 6. You know, because towards not in the first half, because let's face it, bar Alexis, the whole team was shocking in the first half. In the second half, he was trying his heart out, put it that way. And to be honest, I appreciate that. So 6 just for that.
I'm a little bit more generous than you guys. I'd give him a 7. I thought, to be honest with you, if it wasn't for him, because I think our central defenders were having a weird day today, I actually think we would have conceded a goal sooner than we did. I actually felt like, bar maybe the first 20 minutes where I think he was still trying to feel his way into the game, I thought he ended the first half pretty well. And second half, I thought he ran the midfield show, to be honest with you, alongside his partner, who I'll talk about in a minute. I thought he passed really well. I think that's the one part of Coquelin's game that isn't great, that El Nene's is. I think he's a bit more of an intelligent footballer than Coquelin. As much as I love Coquelin, let's just be real here. I think he's more of an intelligent footballer. So I'd give him a 7. I thought he did pretty well. What about his partner, Granit Xhaka?
I'd give Granit Xhaka a 7. I think the first half, again, as long as like what Colin was saying, most of the players weren't great apart from Alexis. But the second half, I think he really took a foothold of the game. You could see that he was like passing and putting people in. I remember one time in the second half, he played Alexis through with a brilliant ball on the left-hand side, but we couldn't make the most of it. And that's what he was doing, just spraying passes. And it was a quick outlet, especially through the counter-attacking movements, where El Nene would get it, pass it to Xhaka, and then Xhaka would spray it either to the fullbacks or to one of the wingers. So I thought in the second half, it was probably one of his better halves as an Arsenal player, because I think he really showed his quality in terms of passing ability-wise and stuff. So I'd give him a 7 for me.
Yeah. Colin?
I'd say a 7.5 because he was our best player behind Alexis.
I agree with you, actually.
Yeah,
because I agree with that as well.
Because it wasn't just the passes he was making. Every movement, everything he was doing was forward movement.
Yeah.
Spraying it to the wingers. Spraying it to the fullbacks.
Unlike a certain Aaron Ramsey. Oh, gosh.
Oh.
Zidane.
I wish Ramsey would do that. I wish he would, but... Oh. To be fair to Ramsey, he did... He was okay.
He did all right.
It was okay.
He was okay. I mean, I give him stick quite a lot, but you know what? I'll get onto that in a minute. I'll get onto that later on. Xhaka was like I said, best player behind Alexis. He was very good. I don't know why he doesn't start.
Yeah.
I really don't. And to me, the reason why he had not the best of first halves is because, well, he's barely started for us. So rust is going to come into play there. But overall, yeah, he did well. 7.5 for me.
I'd give him an 8. I thought the only other person that ran the midfield show other than El Nene was completely and utterly Granit Xhaka. I actually thought he played both halves pretty well, all things considered. Much like you, it was just nice to see a midfield player pass forward instead of always doing this side-to-side nonsense or passing it back nonsense. Every time he got the ball, he looked up, passed it forward. That's all you want from a central midfielder. I think he's unlucky. He's not starting more games. I don't buy this Wenger excuse of, he's not settling in. Because the last time he played was Tottenham, and he played well in that game. So I don't really understand this whole he's not settling in nonsense.
The last 2 games he started, Chris, Watford and Spurs, he ran the midfield show in both of games.
I don't buy it. I don't know what it is. Maybe his attitude in training is not good. That's the only thing I can think of. But if it's match performances, I don't know what Wenger is talking about. Because the thing is, he's played well now. I guarantee, all right, midweek aside, because it's the EFL Cup, next week he'll probably be on the bench. And for what?
Yeah.
For me, we can't go with this chopping and changing. Look, Southampton is not an easy game. Make no mistake about it. They are a good side. Think about it. First half, they dominated us at the Emirates.
Yeah.
That is not going to be easy. And Charlie Austin is in the form of his life right now. We give him even an inch of space, he will score. For me, we've got to stick with the same midfield that we had today. And I'm not saying that because I'm not saying that because El Nene is a better footballer. I'm saying that so that we can get continuity within the midfield, something which we do not have. And how are we going to get continuity if we keep chopping and changing it? And I'll keep saying this because it's the truth. I don't think Wenger knows what his best midfield option is.
I don't think so either. I think he's trying
to... For me, it's obvious. It really is obvious. His best midfield partnership involves Xhaka and Cazorla when he's back. That's our best midfield too. Because Xhaka can get forward, but at the same time, he can do the other side of the game defensively. Cazorla is our engine, and he makes it tick within the side. When those two are playing, I guarantee you will see some of the best football that Arsenal have ever played.
But he doesn't think they can play together, which is really weird.
I don't buy that for a second, Chris. I don't buy that for a second.
I don't understand it either. It seems so obvious to everyone. Why would you just play Santi and Xhaka? Surely that's the way forward.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't understand it.
One other thing that concerns me, though, is the fact that our continuity, it goes to shit when Santi's injured.
Yeah.
That really is a concern because Santi's not going to be around forever.
Yeah.
He's only got He's got a year on his contract.
6 months.
Not even that.
6 months now, man.
6 months on his contract. Why are we stalling on giving him a contract? Why?
I don't understand it. He's our brain. He's the Arsenal brain.
We need this guy signed on for at least 2 years.
Yeah.
Because,
and if you're Santi, you must be thinking to yourself, well, if you're going to stall and giving me a contract, I might as well go and negotiate.
Exactly. And you know what? Santi's already said before he retires that he wants to go back to Oviedo.
Yeah.
So, why are we stalling and giving him that chance?
I don't understand it.
I mean, I think Wenger has a thing about only offering 1-year deals to anyone over 30.
I
Although
swear
he
to
wants,
God,
Maybe it's that.
he better not do to Santi what he did to Vieira. No. Just no.
Yeah. How do you think Theo did on the right hand side?
Oh, I don't think he had a good game at all. Apart from the goal he scored, his touch was poor. He never tested the fullback, never went past him. He didn't really do anything of relevance in the match. He didn't have any other shots. We didn't put any crosses in. I can't remember him making any decent passing forwards or anything. I think he had a poor game. So literally 5, but that's only because he scored the goal. That's it.
Colin?
The old Theo is back, lads.
He has returned.
Theo's back.
He's returned. 2000,
Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
2016 Theo is about 15.
Oh, Jesus. You know what? The only thing he did was score the goal. Other than that, he was fucking useless.
He was. Did nothing.
But
what's your mark?
We're back to old Wally Walcott again. But nevertheless, 5 for me.
I agree with you.
Dreadful.
I agree with you guys. I'd give him 5. He lacks this one basic quality an attacking player should have, and that's composure. I'll give him credit in the sense that he kept finding himself by hook or by crook in some sort of decent position, and then would find a way to screw it up.
Yeah.
Like I said, Chris, the old Theo's back, man. You know he's back.
He's always
literally, I just finished a tweet, like cursing his name, and then I looked up and he happened to score. I was like, oh shit, okay, now I have to look like an idiot and take back my words and say, oh, well done, Theo. Fuck me. Where was that for most of the game? Literally every time he found himself in some sort of advancing position, he would find. You just think to yourself, Theo, just take 1 second, look around you. If there is no one in the box, do not cross it into the box. That's all you got to do. It's pretty simple ABC stuff. I don't know. He needs to find his limitless pills or whatever it was.
Limitless pills.
Whatever it was he was taking.
Get those drugs on, man.
Because he has lost something. I don't know what is wrong with Theo. I'm telling you.
That's a good one.
I couldn't believe it the first 7, 8 games. I was like, where?
The drugs he was taking, they're not there anymore. He's fucked them off.
He's lost them. He's ran out. He needs to go and call Bradley Cooper ASAP and find him. My gosh. But I'll give him a 5. For the simple reason, I mean, congratulations. He's a dad. Well done. But apparently, you could only... You could only score once, apparently, and that was today. And it was a good goal. It was a well-taken goal, but man, I wish he has a new batch of pills. That's all I can say. Switching to the left-hand side. This will be interesting. How do you think Ox did?
5.5 for me. I think towards the start of the game, when Arsenal started relatively decently, I think he took on the fullback and obviously got a yellow card for it. And I was thinking, right, this is the chance for Oxlade-Chamberlain to do this all game, and he didn't really take that chance. I think he made a bad pass, and then his head kind of went, and he wasn't as influential in the game. He started to make safe passes, pass backwards to the fullback or passing sideways. I didn't really can't remember.
And
that's what I noticed with him. His mentality is always on a thread. Like if he makes a mistake, he's gone. Like that's it. Obviously, so that was disappointing because I think he had to beat another fullback. He beat him in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah,
he's going to do this whole game. Just rip him to shreds. But he kind of cutting onto his right hand side, or he didn't want to, lose the ball, so he'd pass it back. So it was just kind of disappointing. I mean, there was a couple of chances in the second half where, to be fair to him, he had a counter-attacking chance, and he'd pass it to Theo or whatever, and they'd lose the ball. So I couldn't really fault him in that sense. So I'll probably give him a 5.5. had the potential to have a really good game, but kind of really fizzled out really. So it'll be interesting to see if he starts in the Carling Cup, the EFL Cup game on Wednesday.
I hope he does, actually. I hope he does.
Yeah.
Colin?
He did all right. I mean, first half-wise, he did. But look, I'm not going to criticise Ox too much. I'm really not. Because, you know, I kind of wanted him to get a full 90 minutes under his belt because he's the one that set the goal up against Man United anyway. So,
yeah.
But really, I'd give him, you know, I'm just going to give him a 5.5. And that's only because he's not got 90 minutes under his belt yet.
I'd give him a 6. I thought he did okay. I think much like you, there were times where I was a bit frustrated because, like you said, he made that mistake. You could see the rest of the time he was on edge, and he was almost afraid to make a mistake in front of the home crowd in case they got on his back. And because I thought the first 15 minutes, I actually thought he was one of the few people that did something. He kept running at the defenders, and then he made that mistake, and it was just shutdown mode for the rest of the game. It's important to bear in mind he is out of position. He isn't a left winger. I actually am a massive defender of Ox, just because, unlike Theo, I believe he has something about him. There are certain times where we do this, what I call school of Aaron Ramsey, where we just do side. Sometimes just want someone to get on the ball and run at the defender. And that's the one thing that Ox does. Now, what he does with it is another question. But sometimes you just want someone to just drive with the ball. And that's one thing I do like Ox for. So I don't think he did that bad. I thought I'd give him a 6. What do you think about our famous number 10?
Oh, jeez.
This one will be tricky, huh?
Not really.
Nah, I'd give him a 4, probably 4. He was absolutely terrible. And this is me. I love Ozil. Ozil's one of my favourite players to watch, literally. I've been watching Arsenal live. Literally, my favourite player to watch live. Quite a lot of people don't like his laid back, kind of composed style of play, but I love it. I think it's so relaxing to see someone that's not going to take panic or not going to take too much time on the ball. He knows when to release the ball and when to pass it and when to put people in and stuff. Well, he literally had no influence on this game whatsoever. Literally, I think he did a couple of fake turns for the second goal, which got deflected onto Monreal to cross it in, and he passed it to Giroud, who passed it to Sanchez for the third goal. Well, he literally had no influence on the game. There's no chances I can remember where he played someone in or where he took people on or where he had a shot or had made a crucial pass or did anything to worthy his place in the starting lineup. I just didn't think he had a very good game. Just didn't do anything. And people say he was fouled for the chance that led to the penalty, but I just think he wasn't strong enough. I just think, he thought he was going to get the free kick, so he kind of laid down there. And then when he didn't do it, we paid for it because Monreal was clumsy because the concentration levels were down because everyone thought they were going to get the free kick. But yeah, it's just disappointing because you expect, people say he's not performing in the big games, but you expect against Bournemouth. He should be doing what Alexis was doing because I remember in the second half, Alexis was spraying passes in the number 10 role. I'm thinking, why is Ozil not doing that? That's Ozil's job, but Alexis is having to come deep to spray the play because Ozil wasn't involved in the game as much. So, yeah, just disappointing for me. 4 rating Ozil.
Colin?
2.
I knew it. I knew he was going to say 2. When he said, no, it's easy. 2. Go on.
My reasoning for that, Ozil has been piss poor for the last few games.
Yeah.
And it's really starting to get on my nerves now. Because we paid 42 million for this guy, yeah? And the reason we did that was so he could influence the big games for us. Mata and Coutinho have more big game influence than he does. For that, like Top said, Alexis was doing more than Ozil was in that number 10 role. And I'm thinking, it's your job, mate. You know, fix up now. Like, seriously, I'm not... Nah. And what gets on my nerves, right, is the fact that people kiss his arse just because he's our record signing. I'm like, you know what? If he has a bad game, call him out on it. It's not hard, is it?
Nah.
And I'm telling you now, some people are going to say, oh, Ozil got 2 pre-assists. It's all good.
Yeah, I've already seen it.
I've already seen it on Twitter. I swear that term was made up for Ozil, because I don't understand.
A pre-assist.
Pre-assist, you know.
That's how you make sense.
It's like technically checked as pre-assist then.
Yeah.
That's the case.
That makes no sense.
I mean, like, when I see people, like, honestly, I was putting out lineups for systems the other day, right? And because I actually had the balls to not include Ozil in that, because I don't think he's warranted a start recently.
Nah, he should be dropped.
I really don't. What has he done in the last couple of games? He's been poor since Spurs.
Yeah. Since that goal against Ludogorets.
I mean, it's all right doing it against, you know, Ludogorets and all of that, but come on. Spurs, United, and PSG were massive games. What did he do in those games? Fuck all. So, honestly, stop licking the guy's arse and actually call him out on a poor performance. But yeah, too.
I'd give him a 4. Honestly, I put like a missing poster up on my Twitter because he has not been seen since that Chelsea game. I don't know what on earth is going on. He turned up for that one Chelsea game, and I find with Ozil, I don't know if you guys think this as well. Whenever we do something like give him a rest,
it gets worse. Yeah, I noticed that as well. Yeah.
Do you notice that the whole team also does that as well? Whenever we rest midweek, then the following week we never play well. It's almost like we play our best when we're on the edge of exhaustion. And Ozil is one of those types.
Yeah.
Like I said it in my preview for this game. I actually don't expect Ozil to turn up until December because I just find that it takes him a while to get into a game. This was a game for me tailor-made.
Yeah.
Bournemouth are not a physical team. They play football the right way. So, in theory, this should have been a game which Ozil shined in, and he still didn't. He had a couple of decent touches, and you could argue he had an influence in one of the goals. All right, whatever. But I still expect to see more from a signing who cost more than 40 million. You know? Maybe I'm being selfish or maybe I'm being unrealistic. If you're a world-class player, I need to see it more than, I don't know, a quarter of the season. I need to see it damn near every single game. Your world-class influence. And that's my one...
Is he world-class? Is he world-class though, Chris?
And that's a debate. That is a different debate.
What's the thing?
My definition of world-class, right, is putting the effort in 110%. Even if the game's not going your way, you keep fighting on. That's why Alexis is world-class. World-class because he always, even when things aren't going when the game's not going his way, he gets on with it. He fights on, and he keeps on getting into the opposition. Right? Ozil, when things aren't going his way, he sulks he hides like a little baby.
Yeah.
Seriously, he hides like a little bitch.
I love Ozil, but I have to agree. And
to be honest with you, I would, and honestly, I can't believe I'm going to say this because I never thought I'd see the day that I would say this. But if we dropped Ozil and played Ramsey in the number 10 role, I wouldn't be against it.
Wow, okay.
Because what's Ozil done?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. I agree.
So, what would you put Alexis? What was your mark for Alexis?
I'd say 9.5. I would have gave him 10 if he would have got that hat trick, that the shot hit off the bar. But yeah, for me, he's our best player, literally world class. Talk about his hunger, his desire for the first goal. Literally created that for himself. Even though Cook made the mistake, he made him make the mistake, and he finished it superbly. And then second half, he was creating everything, putting balls in the box, dribbling from midfield area to number 10 to the left to the right. He was literally everywhere. Any kind of good counter-attacking move, he was involved with it. His touch was good. He was shooting. He was playing people in as well, putting in good balls for Giroud to attack to. And he played a couple of good balls, one to Ozil, which he was in on goal and he mistimed it. He played another one to Ozil, who his touch was too heavy or whatever. So, and then obviously he scored at the end as well. So he was just a magnificent performance. Literally the only one who performed at a world-class level in this game, and he definitely deserved man of the match for me because he was outstanding. It's good to see him back to his, scintillant best. Hopefully he can keep it up for the upcoming games as well. But yeah, Sanchez, amazing.
Colin?
10.
Oh, wow. From Colin, blimey, I didn't know.
He was brilliant, mate. He was brilliant. What do you want me to say about it? Because, look, Alexis is world-class. No one would deny that. I mean, it wasn't just the 2 goals that he got. He was pressing from the front. He was absolutely outstanding. Genuinely. Alexis is a joy to watch. And I love the guy because even when the game's not going his way, he always puts 100% in. You can never say a bad word about Alexis when he's giving it his all because it's clear as day to see. And he loves playing football. I mean, don't get me wrong, that's something I wish he would calm the fuck down about, but overall, he was fantastic. Nothing more to say on Alexis. 10 out of 10. Best player by a mile.
I could definitely see why you'd give him a 10. I'm kind of more in the Topps camp of giving him a 9.5. I know, being nitpicky. If he got his hat-trick, I think I would have given him a 10. But I think, for me, there's just one word I'd describe Alexis, and that's just majestic. He is so... he exhibits everything I want an Arsenal player to be. And you know what? I'd give Wenger credit. I'm a big critic of Wenger, but he saw some qualities in Alexis that said, you know what? You're going to be my world-class striker. And you can see why. It makes us play a slightly different way when Alexis plays up front because the first goal exhibits why Alexis should play up front. He presses defenders. He gives them no time to think. And because he presses a defender, if you're sitting on the right wing or you're sitting on the left wing and you're not doing the same, you're letting down the team. There was a point earlier in the season, I remember, when Alexis was pressing a defender and he was pointing at Theo and saying, press him. And he was pointing at Alex Iwobi saying, press him. And I think it was against Chelsea, actually. And for me, Chelsea was such a well-rounded performance because of that. Our mentality was all about pressing high and forcing the defenders to be nervous. And Chelsea looked nervous that day. They didn't know what hit them that day. And I think how we scored the first goal exhibited that. They looked nervous. They didn't know what hit them. They didn't realize that Alexis was going to press them the way they did. I mean, it was a calamitous error from Bournemouth, but arguably Alexis' presence caused it. So for me, I'm just glad he's in our team. I so badly want him to re-sign. I'm so worried that he won't. I'll be honest.
If we don't win the league, Chris, he's not.
Yeah, let's face
Yeah.
it. Let's face
That's
it.
That's
He's
it,
not
man.
going to, is he?
You know, because
Let's be honest.
Alexis is a winner, man.
Yeah,
That's
I
the
hear
thing.
it, yeah.
And you know, I'm like, well, I'll tell you what, right? I'm one of the biggest Wenger critics out there. You know, I've let him have it on multiple occasions. But one thing I will give him credit for, right? And this stems back to last season with Theo as our striker. He had the right idea, just the wrong player.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right?
100%.
With Alexis, he's got the right idea and he's got the right player.
Yeah.
Now, whether Alexis stays fit or not is a different issue. That would concern me about that is the fact that Wenger won't have the balls to rest him in games that we should be resting him. Like Basel, for instance. That's a meaningless game because we're not winning the group, lads.
Yeah.
Right? We're not winning the group. So we might as well rest Alexis.
Yeah.
And the Southampton game, I'd be tempted to rest him for that game as well.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
because yes, it's the EFL Cup and it's still a trophy, but you know, it's like we've got other strikers that can play that role, and if need be, Theo could play that role.
Yeah.
If we needed him to. You know, I mean, apparently Lucas Perez is back in training. Maybe if he's fit by that time, maybe we play Lucas Perez in that role.
Yeah.
You know, but Alexis is. We've got to rest him because we've got big games coming up. We've got West Ham away, we've got Everton away, and we've got Man City away. All three of those are massive.
Okay.
Because Ronald Koeman is doing very well with Everton. Man City away, look, Man City are tough anyway, but away is a different proposition. And West Ham, while they're not doing great at the moment, it'll be a tough game. Because their fans aren't happy at the minute. And, well, you know what? Rest Alexis for those games because bottom line, we need Alexis for all three of those.
I'm gonna ask you guys to rate one more player just because I think this will be a good debate, and that is Olivier Giroud. How do you guys think Olivier did today?
I thought he did okay, to be honest, when he came on. I thought, you know, he was getting in amongst the defenders. Obviously, he was trying to win the ball, and there's a couple of link-up plays he did with Ramsey and Ozil that I thought was decent, and obviously he set up the third goal as well. So, and I think he brings a different dynamic to what Alexis does. You know, you've got Alexis pressing for 70, 80 plus minutes, and then you bring someone like Olivier Giroud on, and it's a different threat, it's a different aerial threat than there has been throughout the game previously. So I thought he did okay. I'll probably give him a 6. I mean, he wasn't on that long, you know, 20 minutes, if that, 15 minutes. So I thought he did okay when he came on, you know, and I think he always is a better impact player, you know. I remember people saying that, you know, you can get what Olivier Giroud does in 90 minutes in like 20. So that's why he's probably, you know, a very good, impactful substitution. So I thought he did okay when he came on. Yeah, I'll probably give him a 6.
Yeah, Colin? I actually don't know your opinion on Giroud, Colin. I just realised that.
I've said it many times, actually, but you know what? I'll say it again. He's an impact player. Nothing more.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I laid into him massively last season, like most Arsenal fans would have done if they had any common sense.
Of course.
Because I'm sorry, but 15 league games without a goal is not good enough. But today he did all right, you know. But that's the thing. He did good because he came off the bench because Alexis had knackered the opposition out, which is his best role.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
And yet And yet you'll have idiots who say, oh, Giroud is world class. He's our number one. No, he ain't. Plan B striker. Don't get me wrong. He's done well since this season because he's come off the bench. In fact, I saw this stat the other day. He's got more goals coming off the bench than any Arsenal player in history, I think.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's got 10 Premier League goals from the bench, which is pretty impressive, to be fair.
So what's your mark, Colin?
I'd say you know what? 6.5, I think.
Oh, okay. Wow, good mark. I'd agree. I'd give him a 6. I said this in my preview. For me, there is nothing wrong with being an impact sub. You know, I loved Sylvain Walter. No one's going to tell me Sylvain Walter was a plan A. He was a plan B, and he was a good striker. He won us the league, so he's a useful striker. You know, I'm sure there is not one Man United fan I know that ever said, I hate Solskjaer. Not one.
Sheringham.
One single United fan would say that. There is nothing wrong with having a plan B or somebody that comes off the bench. Like I saw a story earlier this week about how Giroud said, he's getting really angry and frustrated. From his point of view, I get it. He's 30, 31. He's thinking to himself, do I really want to be playing sub at this stage of my career? I could get it that he's getting frustrated. If he wants to stay at Arsenal, he needs to get used to the idea. It's just not a plan A. He just does. And I tell you what, there's someone else who'd be happily ready to be a plan B, and that's Perez, who is barely getting on the field, never mind being a plan B. So with Giroud, not that he would ever watch this, but if there was ever a message I could get to Giroud, it would be, just be content with what you got. I thought he did well. He linked up well with Ramsey, who's someone I freely criticised heavily on this channel. I thought he did amazingly well to set up the goal. For once, I thought his movement was good for that in the lead up to that goal. And much like you guys have said, you can get what you get with Giroud in 20 minutes. A little bit thin when you start stretching it for the whole game. And that's just the problem with Giroud. And that was an example of that. Was against PSG. He was great away because he came off the bench. But then when you start him against PSG, you're not going to get the same effect. So I'd give him a 6 out of 10. Okay,
any news on his injury? Do you know?
Wait, Giroud got injured?
Yeah. Apparently he's got a hamstring injury.
Yeah.
He was feeling his hamstring. He's on the floor like at the end of the game.
Yeah. So I don't know how long it's going to be out for. That's all we need.
So I guess
that means. Oh shit! That means we've got no natural strikers for it.
Nope.
Oh fuck!
unless we're going to rush Welbeck, which it wouldn't surprise me.
Oh please!
You know what? We can't do that. No. You know what? If Giroud doesn't want to be a plan B, that's fine. Welbeck can do that as well.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? We've got options now. So we have touched on this a lot throughout, but I guess just finally and wrapping up, summing up what you feel about this game and your thoughts ahead of next weekend and ahead of the EFL. How would you sum that up, Topps?
For me, it wasn't a great performance to say the least. I mean, as I said, we're decent in patches, but for someone like a Bournemouth, who, don't get me wrong, they're a very decent team, I expect Arsenal, especially at home, to be a bit more dominant in the way they perform. And the result in the end, we did get a 3-1, but it was definitely a hard-fought victory. So I'm hoping that the victory can spur us on to have better performances and spur us on to have a run of victories now we've gone through this spell of 3 consecutive draws. But I'm hoping the EFL, he's probably going to make a few changes, but I still hope he plays a pretty strong team, because Southampton, they're a very good side, Premier League side, and they knocked us out in the FA Cup a couple of seasons ago. And
we were lucky to beat them again this season at home. So I'm hoping, we see some senior players, maybe Iwobi gets a run out, Ramsey, etc., etc. And then on to next week with West Ham away, which is obviously a London derby. It's always going to be a fierce and difficult game, London derby away. But hopefully we can get a victory there, and we need to keep winning because you've seen it today. Before we played today, we were 6 points behind. We lose and we go further behind, especially with Christmas coming up and the games coming thick and fast. We can't afford to go further behind than we are already, even though we're already 3 points behind, because as soon as the gap starts getting bigger, you've seen teams like Man United, they're 11 points behind Chelsea already. 11. That is ridiculous in November. So we need to just keep winning, keep the pace, and hopefully we can do that in the next couple of games.
Yeah. Colin?
Performance overall, poor. We need to improve. These shite performances need to stop because against bigger teams we'll get found out. And I'm still maintaining the view that a thrashing is coming. I hope not, but I can't shake that feeling. As far as going forward, I don't think we're going to win the league. I really don't. We'll probably be about third, I think.
Mm.
No, I rephrase that. I think we'll finish fourth, actually, because, Liverpool look really good at the minute. So do Chelsea. And Man City, no doubt, will pick up. I just don't think we've got... Well, I don't want to say the quality because we do. It's more or less the tactical know-how.
Mm.
I mean, I'm not convinced that Wenger can compete with Conte, Klopp, or Guardiola.
Mm.
He's going to have to show me something else because at this point in time, 3 massive games, which we needed to get 6 points in the league, and we needed to beat PSG as well. He failed at doing all of that. It just reeks of same old shit.
I agree with you guys. I think Southampton in itself worries me as a game. Just because, you could say, it's the only the EFL Cup. We don't really need to get there. But, it'd be nice for once. I mean, it's one of 2 cups that Wenger hasn't won, ever. And it'd be nice for us to just, I don't know, whether it's for the kids or whatever reason you think we should win it for, it'd be nice for us to just progress in the competition. And I find when you win stuff, it generally gives the whole team, the whole squad confidence, even if it is the EFL.
Winning breeds confidence as a whole, never mind winning the EFL Cup.
Exactly. I'm quietly confident about West Ham, just because I think they are that bad. But typically, it's always a difficult game for us, particularly when we go to their ground. Although, admittedly, it's a new ground for both us and West Ham at the moment. But I think unless we get our shit together, because I don't think today's performance was good. The scoreline, if we're being honest, flatters us.
Yeah.
I think we just about deserve to win, but only just. And that's only because of Alexis's efforts. So I'm hopeful, but much like Colin, because I didn't see that Southampton Boxing Day defeat coming last season. And that for me, I mean, a lot of people point to the United defeat. That for me was where I realised, okay, we're not winning the league. Because to lose 4-0 to Southampton, and you're telling me that's the same team that's going to win, I thought to myself, nah. And we can't do that this year. Because this year we also play Southampton around Christmas at St. Mary's. And they're playing well. They just beat Everton. So, I mean, there are no chance. In fact, there's no real easy teams in this league. Everyone's fighting for their lives. So, this year, I don't know. Much like you guys at the moment, I think we're going to finish third. I think Liverpool are going to do a Liverpool. And I think at some point they will slow down. And I think will probably finish behind Chelsea and City, the two on-form teams. The only good thing is those two teams, I think, play each other next week.
Yeah, they do, yeah. Early kick-off Saturday.
That would be a good opportunity for us to close on one of them, if not both of them.
Both, if it's a draw, yeah.
So,
the only thing that puts Chelsea and Liverpool slightly in front for me is because of the fact that they don't have European football.
That's true. I can understand that.
Because that's helped a lot of teams, in previous seasons. It helped Leicester win the league. It helped Man United get top 4. It helped Liverpool come second. Don't tell me that doesn't. Don't tell me that doesn't have an effect, because it does. I mean, the facts are, it's very hard to say that we're going to win the league, because I've just got no faith in the manager that he will deliver. I mean, 12 years without a title, and people think, oh, the mentality's changed. And I'm like, has it? Because it reeks of same old shit for me. And, Chris, you were talking about last season and the whole Southampton game. We recovered after that against, I think it was Bournemouth. I can't remember.
Yeah, it was Bournemouth, yeah.
We didn't recover after the 3-3 draw to Liverpool. That's when the league was lost. And to me, it's embarrassing that Leicester have more league titles than Arsenal in 12 years.
Yeah.
All right, let's wrap this up. You guys let the people know where they can find you. Brandon?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter. It's at Brandon Topps, Topps.
And Colin? How can they find you?
They can find me on the MutchArsenal Twitter if they want to tweet me, or you can just subscribe to MutchArsenal. But know this, lads, if you come at me with stupidity, I will block you.
And he will. I've seen him do it. So, thank you guys for joining me for the review. If you're watching me now, do follow me on Twitter. You can see my little thing down here. Do follow me on Twitter at ColossalChig. And similarly, if you're listening to us for the first time, do subscribe. Thank you guys once again for joining me, and up the Arsenal. Peace.